broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
You know, I wonder, in this moment, did Kamala Harris believe that her presidency, or her chance at this presidency, was on the line? Meaning, she got hit with a barrage of "this is your life," and done so in a public forum with all sorts of eyes watching at various ends of televisions all across the United States. And she is being put, "This is your life. How do you respond to this?" I mean, clearly the audience is gasping at it. Clearly, something is wrong with what I just said. She has an answer for that. She has to respond to that. Now, what I can tell you is that her answer to it was insufficient, because after this debate, all chance of Kamala Harris taking the presidency, getting through the primary, evaporated. Tulsi Gabbard, for all intents and purposes, ended Kamala Harris's presidential run on that stage, on that night. Now, it wasn't so much that she didn't get help from Kamala Harris herself. Multiple stories came out of the press over the weekend talking about Kamala Harris's campaign and the troubles within the campaign. One woman resigning outright, making this scathing letter saying about this, the way the campaign was run and mismanaged. She had been in these multiple campaigns and she's never been in a campaign like this before. Scathing. Dead man walking. Or at the very least, that's where we were looking at it. This is a zombie. She's not able to get money. She's shutting down elements of her campaign. And after this moment, she says, "I'm a top tier candidate, and how dare Tulsi Gabbard criticize me?" Well, Tulsi Gabbard is still in this race. And as of this moment, right now, Kamala Harris is not. Kamala Harris has dropped out of the presidential running. To my supporters, it is with deep regret, but also with deep gratitude, that I am suspending my campaign today. But I want to be clear with you. I will keep fighting every day for what this campaign has been about. Justice, like Batman, for the people, all the people. I don't know what that means, but to be honest, I didn't know what Kamala Harris's campaign was about in the first place. She is no longer in this presidential running, however. Tom Steyer, a billionaire for the most part, just bought his way into the race. He's still in this race, and he's going to be on the debate stage in December. Kamala Harris was slated to be on the debate stage in December, but since she is no longer in this race, she will not be on that debate stage. Biden, Warren, Sanders, Buttigieg, and Klobuchar, and again with Steyer, have now qualified for the December debates, and they are continuing to run in this race. The question that needs to be asked at this point is basically, A, is Kamala Harris going to endorse anyone? B, who are her supporters going to flock to? I have some suspicions on that front. And C, what does it change in the context of the race? I suspect that there's an element of Kamala Harris's supporters that are supporting her because she generally hits their notes in regards to policy, this kind of what I would call a blank slate, identity politics. And she's a female. She has a vagina. That's an attribute for some people, especially when you're looking at this stuff in identity terms. It's her turn. Those people will probably go to Warren. I don't see why they wouldn't. Warren or Klobuchar, and I don't know what Klobuchar is even doing at this point in the race. They would most likely go to Warren. I suspect a part of them may go to Biden, but that would be strange. I mean, you may have some African Americans who are supporting her. Again, general in policy, and she's an African American in a race. if the goal is to go to somebody who has a potential for winning, I guess the second choice in this case is going to be the thing that matters. Part of them may go to Biden. Will a section go to Sanders? Who knows? But at the very least, my big suspicion is that the two chunks, be it African Americans or women, at the very least the section of that electorate that go for those specific identity reasons, may flop to somebody else like Biden and Warren. But we'll see. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. And that's not the entirety of it. Some of these people are supporting Kamala Harris, I would imagine, for some kind of policy. And they may migrate to somebody else who's a little bit more on the conservative part of the political spectrum in regards to the primary. And again, that may be something like a Biden. We will see who this affects and who this helps. Some of Kamala Harris's people apparently were surprised by this. They said Kamala Harris's call in this kind of staff phone call, distraught, giving the news to the public. Now, the two scathing pieces that came out of the articles that came out was effectively elements of her staff speaking to the press, pointing fingers at one another. It's your fault. It's your fault. This person mismanaged the campaign. This was a great candidate, but this was, etc. If they would have listened to me, it would have went just fine. The leaking to the press is not a good sign. And I think I even said as much when I did my video talking about Kamala Harris and the articles that came out about her campaign. At the end of the day, Kamala Harris is no more. Extreme Chucka. Tulsi deserves donations from all burners today. Right, because Tulsi took Kamala Harris out the race. Yeah, that's funny. That is indeed funny. Right, so her support. So in some races, Kamala Harris had more support than others. At this point, she was polling in the low digits. I mean, Buttigieg, Warren has eaten up her share of the electorate. So whatever that percentage, I suppose, is going to go into other areas, whether it's significant or not, we will find out. But it should be interesting nonetheless. Let's see. I think this is Streamlabs. And I will end this. Kills for a living. I told you the day she announced Willie Brown Mistress had no shot. Give me props now. Oh, Tulsi still trash. Yes, you did say Willie Brown's Mistress had no chance. You did say that. Kills for a living did say that. I will give you credit for that. You said that on day one. You said that on day one. Like, share, subscribe.